Hey guys, this is my long overdue Black Ice Aries DAC headphone preamp review. I actually got this thing from Jamie and Jared about almost a year ago, because I guess it was September of last year when we did the tribute to Jim Fosgate thing, and like I mentioned, this arrived like a day late anyhow. And again, that was a UPS fuck up, not the boys. So anyways, I've been living with this thing for almost a year. They'd asked me to do some quick measurements on it, mainly power stuff. So this thing is probably God's gift to headphones, and I'm talking any headphones. Before I blew up my Stax hybrid amplifier, I was running it in tandem with this. So my electrostatic COS headphones finally had bass for the first time in 4 years. Next thing was I used the DAC in this. It's a nice DAC. I mean, they're using the ESS 9038 Pro chip, and I think when Fosgate designed this, he obviously designed a tube output stage for it. And so there's two tubes in this. I'll reference a video that a guy did a few months ago where he goes into super detail, but he was doing it more on the headphone side of things and the DAC, whereas I'm going to do this mainly as a review for my speakers, right? And obviously using the Black Ice F100 amplifiers. And basically, whereas you guys know I got rid of the BAT preamp, my F360 is still over at Alice Johnson's place with two of Ernie's silver amps. So my son and I are kind of sharing this because he uses it in his gaming rig with his Bose headphones. Well, I love this thing because this surround mode, basically when I'm using it in 2-channel, I max the thing out, and it's true, the walls will disappear. You'll get all kinds, anything that's out of phase is like really cool. It's almost as if the back surrounds are on. And I kind of prefer this to the F360, whereas this thing, like I mentioned, it's God's gift to headphones. But as a preamp in your regular system, even though it's all single-ended RCA in the back, if you've got balanced equipment, just make sure that the negative pin is floating, right? And you're good to go. There's no noise, there's no hissing, there's nothing. It's clean. The other cool thing with the Aries is you've got the two tone controls for left and right. You've also got gain that you can basically reduce, increase, or keep it at the default. These slope switches I'm still a little unclear on. The sub bass, I love this thing because this thing, I can basically disengage the subs in the room. And this thing, a little goes a long way. You know, I usually keep it in the 1 position and I'll turn my subs on, but if I want to have some fun, max in my setup, it overloads. I usually, if I'm not going to use the subs, I'll put it in about the midpoint. And again, like I was mentioning, there's treble controls here for the left and right. The surround, like I said, which I love so much. When I'm listening to multi-channel music, this will be in the minimum position. Now there is what's the 0 position here. It's supposed to be at whatever you put into it is what you get out. But I'm finding when I'm listening to multi-channel, I'll put this at the absolute minimum position since it only affects the left and right channels. And what else do we got here? Of course, you got a balance control. And in a minute, I'm going to go around the back and show you how I broke the connection between the Onkyo and the F100s and added this guy into the chain. So let's go into the garage. All right, guys, so here's the business end of things. You can see that I'm not using the DAC, even though I have tried the DAC both with headphones and with my speakers, and it's a good DAC. I'm not going to say, you know, does it compare to my PS Audio DAC? It's pretty close. How does it compare to Leo's DAC? Basically the sound of Leo's DAC, and with a little bit of tubey goodness on the output end of things. All right, so that's my very brief review of the DAC section. Can't really, speak too much about it because, but as you can see, what I've done here is the single-ended to balanced, and these little adapters that I made. The XLR is a standard, hot, cold, and ground. But these little adapters that I made, the negative pin is floating, right? And then if we come down here, and I never really showed you guys the psychedelic spaghetti going on back here. You can see Ernie's cables there. So obviously I've broken the solid silver chain by adding the black ice in, but since I'm also using their surround stuff, whatever. And again, same thing here. You can see that where the output cables are going into here, I've got these XLR to RCA cables that I built for my Macintosh MC50s, which is another story. Same thing. You've got single-ended RCA, right? And then if you follow the cable, right, go all the way down, you'll see, whoops, sorry guys, there's Ernie's cables again, right? And Ernie's cables are going to the left and right channels. Whoops, sorry guys. There we go, everybody's gonna get vertigo now. And that's about it on the business end of things. As you can see, it is psychedelic spaghetti, but there's no hiss, there's no hum. Yeah, that's Thomas's amp over there. That's running my my surrounds for the time being. Hey, if you got the toys, you might as well use them, right? You can see I'm in the progress of burning in one of Ernie's. That's running my center channel. And yeah, that's the scary disaster. I've never really shown you guys out back there, and people are like blown away that there's no hum, there's no hiss. And all right, guys, I'm gonna come back around the front now. Yeah, and guys, really that's the review here. Again, like I mentioned, I broke the glass on this a couple months ago, so I kind of printed out this label, and because I like having this thing sideways in my rig, and as you can see, I could flip it up this way. One funky thing here though is, because I'm using analog input 1, anytime I power this thing off, which again, I kind of broke the power button and bypassed it, so this thing is on 24/7 unless I pull the IEC. Yeah, they know about it. One of these days we'll fix it, but at the end of the day, this thing is a great little unit. But getting back to this, you can cycle the inputs here. There's a button, but anytime you turn this thing off, it'll go back to the first input, so it doesn't save whatever input you had on it last, which can be a bit annoying. But at least here, you've got symbols to tell you what input you're on. Unlike another DAC that I reviewed a few months ago that's got 4 little buttons on the front panel and you don't know where you are. Obviously, they've fixed that issue in the new revision of their DAC. But again, I can't really say, this is another one of my short reviews. I'm trying to keep these things short, sweet, and to the point. Yes, this is a lot of money. I think the last time I saw the price on their website, it's about $2,800. But you can drive everything from a pair of planar magnetic headphones to actually getting bass out of your electrostatic setup. Again, there's tons of gain here. You can bypass all the effects. Right here, there's a switch. And that's it, guys. It's another short one. Trying to keep them like that from here on in. Like and subscribe, and hopefully I didn't ramble on too much about this. And if you want to get one, call Jamie and Jared at the factory there, and they'll hook you up. Thanks again, guys. Bye for now. The one thing I forgot to mention is my wife tried these, my electrostatic headphones with the Aries in series with the Stax headphone amp, and she was able to hear quite a difference, even with her hearing aids removed and just her raw hearing, so to speak. And also, if you've got tinnitus, because of the independent left and right tone controls, it's a godsend. Thankfully, I don't have any of these issues, but for those who do, it's a great preamp, man.